Today we're going to look at capacity planning, which is option 8 in the HIPPO menu on the left hand side of the screen. And capacity planning brings together all of the features and metrics which a capacity planner needs to plan out the requirements of an Informatica installation based upon the activity in your own environment. So let's look at capacity planning. When I click on capacity planning, the active date and time filter at the top of the screen. Each of the charts has a legend which can be toggled on and off, and there are 6 charts in total on the page. There's percentage CPU utilization by node, there's percentage CPU utilization by project, memory percentage used by node, and memory percentage used by project, data movement by node, and data movement by project. Now the active time filter which I have here is just the past hour. Obviously easily change this, change it to the previous 24 hours, refresh data, and I get a bigger picture. Obviously the wider the range, the date range for capacity planning, the better in terms of looking at overall trends in your environment. But we can go a bit further than this in HIPPO. We can add individual filters. So we could filter on just a grid, on an individual node, a host, domain, an integration service, or a repository. So we can narrow down our analysis of capacity and capacity requirements by date, as well as by these Informatica constructs. However, we can go further. We can select a project which you have already defined within your HIPPO environment. So we could select an individual project and we can look at the trends in the behaviour and requirements of that individual project. So I could, for example, select NBO Go, and NBO Go appears on the top right hand side here as an active filter in this chart. And if I click and refresh, then I'm going to see the capacity planning information for the previous 24 hours just for this project. So I can see how it's behaving, what it's consuming, and what it's likely to need in the future. So we can see CPU utilization here by node and then by project. So this is the node. All of NB is running on a single node, which is node 01 HIPPO dev. The NBO Go project is taking this is its CPU consumption profile over the past 24 hours. Here's its memory profile over the past 24 hours. I can show you again, we just have the single node and the single project active here. And we can look again at memory percentage by project. Again, NBO Go is the only one we have active because I've chosen it to filter. And you can see its profile there. You can see it's moving a very, very small amount of data through the node and then also through generally across the environment. So a lot of interesting features there and ways that you can tailor your analysis. So let's look at taking a wider time frame. Let's look at choosing, for example, the previous month. When I select the previous month from the date and time range here, then you can see that we have obviously a much larger amount of data to deal with. And we can see we have lots of projects which are active, NBO Go being one of them. But you can see that we also have others that we've created which are non-Informatica. These are, for example, Oracle and also the antivirus software running on our server. We've decided to profile that as a project because we're interested in just how much of our memory and CPU resource is being consumed by these non-Informatica processes. So you can see that we have Oracle here in blue. And if I hover my mouse over part of the chart, it will give me that part of the consumption in that sample point which has been consumed by Oracle. In this case it's 21% of the usage in the environment at that time of memory has been consumed just by Oracle. So down here you'll see we also have others consumed 46%, 21% for Oracle, and the remainder consumed by a combination of smaller projects. So I hope you found that useful, and look forward to joining me for chapter 10 where we'll look at HIPPO's timeline in more detail. Thank you.